and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign, indicating that it is safe to move about the cabin. For your own safety, though, we request that you keep your seatbelt fastened when you're in your seat during this short flight. We'll start our in-flight beverage service shortly.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Evening, everybody, and we're going to do our first attempt at a broadcast here, and hopefully we get some good participation from everybody. And I'm joined tonight by my co-host, and since my mouth's not working, I'm just going to let him introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lonnie.
Anyway, so tonight we're going to be talking about whatever anybody wants to talk about. And if you guys have got anything you want to discuss, just type it in the message thing. We can see it right away. And we will hopefully answer any questions you have. And if not, we will respond to you in the group. So if you've got anything, feel free to ask. So what have you been up to, Lonnie?
Oh, not too much lately. Went out a couple of weeks ago with a few of the guys from the group there. Went flying out at the just past the McLean there, where you guys went with that big group. And it was a gorgeous day, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, last night I did, as you're probably well aware, I was on another live broadcast, and it was kind of fun. We talked for probably half an hour about the new Mavic Air that's coming out, and that was rather interesting. There's some good specs coming out on that, and I was able to share that. And I see, good. We've got some questions coming in already. So let's start with this one. So, Leo, what's the best way to handle non-law enforcement city officials? I think we kind of discussed this one already offline, and the best thing I can tell you is be respectful. You want to try and set up a good working relationship with them, but you have to remember that they might not be as educated on what the rules and regulations are as you are. So just make sure that everything that they're asking for is correct. And to be honest, don't be afraid to challenge them if you know you're right. So, and hopefully that answers your question. And there, I'm just going to get rid of that. And let's tell us more about what you do with your drones. Well, myself, I got into drones as an extension of my photography. And I really enjoy my photography. I've been doing that for about 45 years. I do a little bit of video now and then, but mainly you'll see my pictures. And as I say, I don't do a heck of a lot of video, but that's not why I got into drones. Lonnie?
Actually, I got into drones for the video. Just to get up there a couple of 100 feet there, the perspective is just amazing. And to edit something and see the final product when you're all done, it's just a great feeling to see some nice stuff.
Yeah, myself, I'm not interested in doing any professional work. I've been asked several times to do that, but to be honest with you, I really have no interest in doing any of that. I'm retired, or shall I say semi-retired, and my idea of fun is to just go out and do what I want, not what somebody else wants me to do. So I'm kind of lucky in that respect. So
yeah, and same here, Lauren. I don't have any interest into getting into it professionally or anything like that. I just love to go out and meet people and fly and have fun. Mm-hmm. I've flown, with friends and stuff in Vegas and BC, Saskatchewan, like quite a few places, and just had a lot of fun and met a lot of really super nice people.
Yep, and I see that you've met some nice people as well. Uh, you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, gee, I don't know. I won't mention any names, but his initials are AC.
Oh, Mr. Anthony Cools.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, actually, Anthony Cools was the person that got me into that. He got into it, and he is into it professionally. He has his own filming company and stuff down in Las Vegas. But yeah, he got me into it, and absolute zero regrets. I was never one for flying remote control stuff because they would crash after about 30 seconds. So I just give that stuff up. But with the drones, it's definitely a different game.
Sorry, I'm just answering a question for somebody online here because they can't ask a question. Yeah, Doug, make sure that you've got your chat showing on YouTube there so that you can see it. And oh, he's trying. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know how many people caught the show I was on last night, but we talked about the Mavic Air, which talking with other people in the industry, we think it's just going to be renamed just the Mavic. DJI has been kind of cleaning up their drone naming routine. They used to have the Spark, now that's the Mavic Mini. So I think that's going to continue with the Mavic Air. It'll just be called the Mavic, and so then you've got the Mavic Mini is going to be kind of your baseline drone for the beginners, and your Mavic Air will just be called the Mavic, which is kind of going to be the mainstream drone, for lack of a better term. And then once the new Mavic 3 comes out, I think they're just going to go back to calling that a Mavic Pro. And that's my thoughts. I see everybody's just dying to ask questions here. Come on, people. We're here to
we're here.
What you got?
We'll do what we can.
Yeah. And I know what I'm going to do. Let's go back to that. And excuse me for a second. So, yeah. Everybody's seen the pictures here and just some of the stuff we were discussing on the show last night. Actually, I'm going to just put that full screen so it's a little easier to see. But new motors. And with the new motors, we got new ESCs, electronic speed controls. And plus, oh, yeah. Hi, Doug. And let's go to the next slide here. And with that, we got the new props. Probably one of the biggest complaints that we had about the Mavic Air was the very short flight time, as well as it was noisy and a very, very irritating noise. So yeah, I think I just answered that one, Doug. Yeah, it definitely low noise props, and the camera geometry has changed as well as the body design, because one of the other problems that they had was the when you took the Mavic Air at a high speed, it forced the camera to look down. So that's all been fixed. Full 360 obstacle avoidance. And here's kind of the biggest one. Not a lot of people know why they went to this controller, but if you look at the shape of that controller, it's almost identical to the smart controller DJI is now using a lot of their stuff. So that being said, I suspect that they're going to go with OcuSync 2 on that one, which is going to be a real game changer for increasing the increasing the flight range, which was another complaint because it only had the Wi-Fi before. So, and gotcha.
Yep, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are looking forward to that one.
Yep.
Come out. It's been a while. They need a new one.
Leo, do I think some drone pilots who do photography have downgraded to the Mini to avoid rules and regulations? I'm going to let you know that first, Lonnie, and then I'm going to say my two bits.
I don't think any of the professionals will, just because they're licensed. Most of them would be licensed and everything else, but there's probably quite a few that do have it as well. Yeah.
And I agree with you on that, Lonnie. Is anybody that's a serious photographer wouldn't downgrade to that because of the specs of something like the Mavic 2 Pro is just head and shoulders above the Mavic. Meaning, there's a lot of people that have downgraded to it, and I can tell you from experience that just because they don't want to get licensed or registered. But if you are already a drone pilot and doing photography, I honestly don't think you would downgrade because you've got so much less camera control.
Yeah, agreed.
And Doug, any ideas on the weight? Not really, but I'm hearing somewhere between 650 and 750 grams. Exact weight, not sure. What do you think? I don't know.
Yeah. You probably know better than I do.
Nothing like putting you on the spot, eh, Lonnie?
No, not at all.
Anyway, just as a heads up, tonight's show is going to be kind of just a quickie 30-minute thing. The idea was to just, first of all, make sure I could get this software working properly. As you can kind of tell, I'm not using a live YouTube stream. I'm tapping into YouTube. But we just want to see if, first of all, there'd be any interest. And part of the show, probably the last 10 minutes or so, we will talk about anything that we might want to do in future shows that we can talk about in depth. And, you know, whether or not we need to go to a 60-minute, I'm not sure. And not only that, but how often should we do this? This is all up to you guys. To me, whatever you guys want. You know, you guys, believe it or not, you guys run the group because I try and do whatever the group wants. You know, this group is for you. It's not for me. So,
yeah, and to get that information passed around for everybody to share too is really important, and this is a good way to do it.
Sorry, there we go. Parachute safety system. I think it's a really awesome idea. Biggest problem, they're right out to lunch on the pricing. Most of the systems with the parachute system, they're charging just about as much as your drone is, which is totally ridiculous. And I'm going to leave it at that because otherwise I might swear, and I don't want to do that. What do you think?
No, I agree. I've seen a couple of the videos where they're testing them on YouTube and stuff like that. And for the price, yeah, I think I'll just leave it.
Yeah. So, Doug, flight times. Right now I'm hearing between 30 and 35 minutes. And again, that's because of the new props, new ESCs, new motors, and entirely different battery. So that's definitely going to assist. But we'll wait and see. Right now, my understanding is that they have done an FCC filing, but they put a 60-day privacy statement with that, so nothing can be released for that 60 days, which will be put it right on what I was expecting to be the release date, which myself, I think it's going to be the second week of May. And I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be around the second week of May.
Yeah. As long as they don't have any more delays.
Yeah. Do they get tangled? Well, mixed reviews. I've heard most of those work very, very well. But usually it all depends on what your aircraft is doing at the time on whether or not it actually gets tangled. I am by no means an expert on it, and I'll be the first to tell you that, but just things that I've heard from other people that are actually using them. For the most part, they're very happy with them. There's two systems out there. One has kind of limited success with the reviewers, where that it does meet safety standards, but you also end up with a broken drone because it doesn't cushion it enough. So, hopefully that answers that for you. What else have we got? Anybody else got some questions?
Well, I don't know.
How about everybody in here? Just say hi in the chat so we at least know.
That's all here.
We're not just having a friendly foursome here.
Yeah. I don't know. Is anybody interested in any of the logistics for flying in the city of Calgary with the Mini?
I think somebody mentioned something about that. So flying in the city, because you're the sub 250, you still need to deal with the local bylaws. The two main bylaws is the Streets and Roads bylaw and the Parks bylaw. Streets and Roads bylaw, you can't take off, land, or operate on any street or road within the city of Calgary limits, and that includes the sidewalk. Just to confirm, because some people think, well, I'm fine because I'm on the sidewalk. No, that's not acceptable. The other one is the Parks bylaw, and the Parks bylaw, there are certain parks that are allowed. I've posted that stuff before, and I'm not going to go off the top of my head on which parks are off the list, but basically if it's a wildlife preserve or something similar to that, it's a no-no. And you have to choose a park where there's not a ton of people.
Yeah. So Nose Hill is an absolute no-no.
Nose Hill is a sanctuary, yes.
Yes.
That's a no-no. And good evening, Alexander. I see you saying hi. Have you got any questions, Alexander? Dead air. Yeah. Okay. We're closing in on 10 minutes left. So start thinking about what would you guys like to talk or have us present in depth for a future show. We need to kind of know this in advance so that we have a fair chance to prepare and have the material ready for you guys. We can talk off the top of our head, but I'd prefer if we were much better prepared so that everything we give you is factual and not second guessing.
Yeah, and giving them information that people are actually looking for would be good too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like I say, this is for you guys. We're not doing it for ourselves. There's especially with summer coming, and I think what we should do, or we should do, or whatever, we'll get maybe some other people online with us. And I think one good show would be, because it's the biggest question we get, is where can I fly? I get that one all the time, and that's why I put it on the website.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to go to that for a second. I'm going to actually go to our web page, and so I'm going to share that. And let's put it full screen for a sec here. So here's our website. And not a lot of people realize that under announcements, we have a link to our website. And so if you go to the website under announcements, or you can find it here, or if you just look for the announcements, it actually takes you to a website that we put in a lot of good information, and especially like things like frequently asked questions, right? For example, where to fly, right? And we Canadian airspace. There's a big one, like how does Canadian airspace work, right? Drone maintenance, links, photography tips, video tips, all that kind of stuff. That's available on our website. So if you haven't used it before, don't be afraid to click on that link in the announcement section.
Yep, a lot of good information there.
Yep. And hi, Dave Squire. How you doing?
Hello, Dave.
And Leo, yes, I agree. Get together would be nice, and we are planning, or at least I'm planning. We'll see how well it works. Last year, I had a lot of people saying that we want to do more group flies and stuff like that. So last year, I put together a bunch, and we had 30, 40 people said that they'd come to the group flies, and 2 or 3 people would show up. That's really kind of disheartening. So yeah, we will do more group flies, but if we don't have sufficient people, and by sufficient people, like if 30 people show up, say they're going to show up and 2 show up, I'll be honest with you, I can go out and do my own thing and have a blast. So if you say you're going to show up, please show up.
Well, you did have a good turnout a few weeks back there too, Warren.
Absolutely. I was really impressed with the number of people that showed up at Canyon Creek that time. That was great, and hopefully we see that more often.
Oh, for sure. It looked like everybody was having a blast too.
Yep, and I'm hoping that we can get we can vary the location so that it's not everybody has to drive across the city.
Yes.
I want to kind of move it around so that that everybody has an equal chance to have a not so far drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So good idea. So,
has anybody thought anything about what they'd like to see on a future show? Oh, there we go. Hang on, I missed this one. Self-study, take an online advanced test. Okay. Well, just my opinion. Yes, you can do the self-study. Don Drones On has a great series of videos that you can use. Some people have been very successful using that. The only problem is with the self-study is if all of a sudden, if you have a question, your self-study is not really going to answer that question. And that's where you're kind of better with a live instruction. But like say, if you go to Don Drones on YouTube, he's got a great study guide for the advanced. And I recommend that if you want to go the self-study route. Does that answer your question, hopefully? Okay. Drones are good international. For those that aren't familiar with that one, there's Doug and Lonnie and myself, as well as a few others from elsewhere, have started up a new group. It's called Drones for Good International. And what that group is about is we get always the negative media, and what this is to try and put forward the positives that are being done in the drone industry. so that they know that we didn't just shut down airports or spy on people's backyards and stuff like that. And on June 7th, we're going to be doing the international fly-in. And that doesn't mean we're going to get people from all over the world coming here, but we're going to do a local fly-in, and as well as various locations around the world are going to hopefully do a fly-in.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So spread the word, everybody.
Yeah. So if you've got any international people, or even just spread the word, the group is on Facebook. It's called Drones for Good International. So don't be afraid to check it out. But that's have we chosen a location? I'm thinking about doing same place as last year. What was it?
McKinnon Flats.
Thank you, Lottie. But we're not set in stone on that. So, Doug, you're admin on that group, as well as Lonnie. So between the three of us, we can make a final decision on a location. I got no idea on the final location. But
yeah, we just got to make sure if we get a good turnout, we got the room.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And group flies are great. Always learning something new. Guess what? Everybody, including myself, I learned something new at group flies. The only time you're going to stop learning is when you're 6 feet under.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So keep it green. Keep on the green side.
Yeah, exactly. So, Lonnie, have you got any final thoughts or words that you'd like to share? Any words of wisdom? You're such a knowledgeable feller.
Oh, for sure. I would just like to say that, spread the word about the new drone group, and let's see what kind of a turnout we can get for June 7th. We'll keep everybody posted as we update that as well. If there's anything that you guys want us to discuss and continue on with these shows, just let us know through the Facebook group or even the next few minutes here, and we'll make sure we get some research done so we got some valid information for you. And fly safe.
I blew it here.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep talking. I'm busy typing here.
Oh, okay.
No, us old guys, we type slow.
Yeah, well, what can I say?
Anyways, we said we were going to do a 30-minute broadcast. And yeah, Doug, I hope it does get bigger. We'll have to wait and see. It all depends on your guys' feedback. But I think part of every show I'd like to call it an open mic thing. So people, if they've got questions or whatever, feel free to ask. And look at what's in your background, Lottie.
There it is.
Yeah, Don't forget International. Woohoo!
Yeah, that's our banner. That's our future banner, people.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, I think if we do a future broadcast, I didn't see anybody put up any ideas or suggestions on what we should do for a future show. So, please give feedback in the group, and if we get some feedback, we'll definitely put on a future show. And in that feedback, give us some idea of how often you'd like to do a show, right? And that would really help out. I'm doing webcasts on a few other places. I won't mention that, but a few other places twice a week as it is. So for me, Wednesday nights are going to be my best nights. So
yeah.
Anyway, it's been a slice, folks. Thank you, everybody, for joining in, and hopefully we'll see you guys all next time. And in the meantime and in between time, what does Ed Whalen say?
Thank you, Mr. Eddie.
No, that's another edition of Stampede Wrestling. Good night, all.
Good night.